Good morning, everyone. I hope that you had a great day yesterday. Remember that you have a vocab test today on those words that you learned yesterday. You are allowed to use your note cards or notes that you took during the lesson to help you on that vocab test today. That will be your assignment for the day, but you still do have this little video. We're just going to do a quick review about line plots to kind of get us introduced to graphing before we jump in tomorrow with ordered pairs and coordinate grids. And so we are going to use the data to complete the line plot, and then we're going to answer a few of the questions together, okay? So our word problem is that a breakfast chef used different amounts of milk when making pancakes, depending on the number of pancakes ordered. The results are shown below. So we have all the different amounts of milk that he used. We need to plot it on our line plot over here. They were very kind and actually already gave us 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4, which is the milk and the pancake orders in cups. So those are the only three numbers that we're going to have. We actually just have to make dots or points on the plot to tell us how many of that we had. It's easier for me to just go in order, and I kind of cross out as I go so I don't get confused. So I've got 1/2. So I'm going to make just a little line on the plot so I know I have 1/2. I've got 1/4. Got another half, so I'm just going to move up and make another dot. So now I'm up to 2 halves, 1/4. I've got 3/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1/2, 1/4, 1/2, and lastly we have a half again. And you by no means have to do dashes when you're making a line plot. You could do dots, X's, whatever you wanted. This was just the easiest way for me to see. So I now can tell just from this line plot, without having to look at this mess of data that I had, the chef used 1/4 cups 2 times. He used 1/2 cup 6 times, and he used 3/4 cups 2 times. So now I have all the data organized on a nice, neat line plot so that I can answer questions a lot easier than having all these numbers mixed up. Okay, so how much milk combined is used in 1/2 cups amount? Well, we know that he used a 1/2 cup 6 times. So if we need to find out how much milk that is total, there's 2 ways we can do that. We can do a half plus 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 a half, or we can do 6 times 1/2. So I am going to multiply 6 times 1/2. And I know when I multiply fractions, I could put the 6 over 1, or I could know that this 6 gets multiplied by my numerator. And so 6 times 1 is 6, and it would be all over 2. But if you remember, we cannot have our numerator bigger than our denominator. So we have to ask ourselves, what is 6 divided by 2? And I know that 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the total amount used is 3 cups. Because remember, we're measuring in cups. So he wound up using 3 cups of milk. He just used them in 1/2 cup increments. Alrighty, let's look at number 7 together. How many more orders? Those keywords, how many more, tells me I already know I'm going to have to do some subtraction in this problem. Okay, how many more orders of pancakes use 1/2 cup of milk than 1/4 and 3/4 combined? So I'm starting with my 1/2 cup, right? We know that we had 6 orders from our 1/2 cup. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 6. And I need to know how many more, so I'm going to subtract, I used in 1/2 cup than in both 1/4 and 3/4. So the first thing I have to do is figure out how many 1/4, how many 3/4, and put those together. So that is going to be 1, 2 1/4, 1, 2 3/4, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So I'm seeing 6 minus my 4 because it is asking orders, not an amount, right? It doesn't care about the amount of milk. It wants to know how many more orders used 1/2 cup than 1/4 and 3/4 combined. Well, if 6 orders used half cup and 4 orders used 1/4 or 3/4, then I know that 2 orders used half cup more than the others, right? There were 2 more orders that used a half cup of milk than either a fourth or 3/4. So our answer would be 2 orders. Great job, guys. Alrighty, we're gonna do number 6 together and we'll talk about number 8 in just a second. So, what is the average amount of milk used for an order of pancakes? Well, we need to pause first and remind ourselves what an average is. An average is when you add all your numbers together and then you divide the total by the number of data points that you had. So we know that we're going to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers total. So we're going to have to add up all of these data points and then divide it by 10, okay, to find our average. Well, we already added up all of our halves, right? And we know that that was 3. So I'm going to come right here and I'm actually going to put 3. And then we need to add 1/4 plus 1/4, which is 2/4, but I know that that can reduce to 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1/2 here. And then we cannot forget about our 2 3/4. And 3/4 plus 3/4 would be 6/4. And I know that I can change that. And 4 goes into 6 one time. I would have 2 left over. My denominator would be 4. But I also know that 2/4 can reduce to 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that. That way it's a lot easier for me to add. So when I add these numbers, I can add my whole numbers, 3 and 1, and I know that I get 4. And then all I have left is 1/2 plus 1/2, which is 2/2 or 1. And I know that 4 plus 1 is 5. Well, this number 5 right here is all of the milk added together. But I need to know an average. And we said we had 10 different orders of milk. So I have my 5 and I need to divide it by 10. So that's going to look like this. 5 over 10. Well, that's already a fraction for me. So I'm just going to see if I can reduce it to see if I can get the average. What number goes into both 5 and 10? 5, that's right. So if I divide 5 by 5, I get 1. And if I divide 10 by 5, I get 2. Y'all are awesome at this. So that tells us that our average, or the average amount of milk used for an order of pancakes, was 1/2. And I'm just going to put a C for cups. 1/2 cups. That means that the average amount of milk that the chef used when he was making pancakes was a 1/2 cup, which makes sense because if you look here, he used 1/2 the most, right? And so he used about a 1/2 cup each time he was making pancakes. Question 8 asks us what amount we could use that would increase the average of our data. Well, the bigger this 5 would have been, the bigger our average would have been, which means we could have added another 3/4, right? And that would have made our 5 larger, and it would have made our average increase. We could have also added a higher number than 3/4 if he would have used 1 full cup. That would have helped our average increase. But from what we have, we would have had to add something larger than 1/2 to help our average go up from 1/2. So we could have added 3/4 cups. As an example, you could have also put a fraction that was greater than 3/4. But since we had 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 that the chef was using, we wanted to stay within those numbers for this problem specifically. All right, guys, so this was just a quick review. about line plots, making sure you can plot your data to help you answer questions. The average is a review. I know you probably haven't done averages with fractions before, so that may have been new to you, but just make sure from this video that you understand if you have data, how to plot it on a line plot, just like we did here, and you could answer questions 5 and question 7 using the data that you plotted. If you have any questions, please let me know, and don't forget to take that math vocabulary test today. I will see you guys tomorrow.